What up, Hoops fans? You are now locked in to the Hooped NBA podcast where we talk all things ball all year long. I'm your host, fellow Hoops fan AJ, and every week we're going to be breaking down the biggest and best storylines from the league. If you love basketball the way we do, make sure you subscribe so that you never miss an episode. We're going to drop brand new episodes every week. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts. Be there because you don't want to miss what we're going to do. Follow us on the socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We're going to be doing some exciting things there, especially in the off season. It's going to be awesome. We've got some great things planned. And welcome to the very first Hooped Session. That's what we're going to be calling these episodes, Hooped Sessions. And I am joined by a couple fellow Hoops fans. I've got the couch GM himself, Jerry West of the living room, and host of the Bench NFL podcast, Mr. Joey Tovar.
Hey,
and joining him as well is sixth man of the decade, smooth like rhythm and blues, RB Ryan Baldwin. What's up, guys?
What's up, man? Happy to be on the first episode of Hooped. Love it.
I'm hyped. I was telling Joey it's destined for me not to be on the podcast, so I finally made it. So we're here.
Finally made it, RB. We've been trying to get you on for a while. Now, this was something that I brought up, Joey. I remember I called you right before Game 7 of the Pacers and Thunder and said, hey, man, I want to talk ball. Like, I love football. Basketball is my first love, though. So, I wanted to get up on here. This is something we've been working on since, what was that, June of 2025?
Yeah, I mean, a very long time. And even before that, like me and you have been talking ball, bro, for years. I'm talking about summers in my hot ass room watching Summer League, bro. D-Lo, B.I. Like we're purple and gold, die hard for sure. But NBA 2K guys, like we're following the whole league. Love ball, bro. Happy to be on here.
Hey, speaking of that D-Lo, B.I. Summer League, obviously one of our big moments together is screaming our heads off when D'Angelo Russell hit that buzzer beater, standing there like we won Game 7 of the NBA Finals on a buzzer beater. Fun fact, Mr. Rhythm and Blues, RB, was at that game.
I was in the building.
Wow.
I grew up in Vegas. So I grew up in Vegas. We used to go every year. It was like $40 for the day. And I was like, and I was an Ohio State fan. So I was like, D-Lo coming out of Ohio State. And then it was packed. I had to go to the nosebleeds because that's how busy it was. And I had it recorded on Snapchat. And I went down. I didn't have service. I went downstairs and it deleted. So I lost my footage of the game winner. I had it recorded. I was so mad. But the whole gym was insane. And Summer League was not hyped back then. Like there wasn't a ton of people. But I've never seen a game like that in Summer League ever.
Bro, that's wild that you were there.
I was there.
Let me say this. I guarantee as hyped as the people were there, and I'm sure Lakers faithful were showing out in Vegas for sure, bro. Yeah. At the Tovar house in Canoga Park. Me, AJ, and then my little bro, we were going crazy. Crazy, bro. Good.
You would have thought Kobe hit a fadeaway buzzer beater to win the championship. Bro. The way we were standing up.
It was us coming out of the darkness, bro. These kids. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. And speaking of those summers, I mean, I tried to find pictures of our big boards we used to make. We used to write down the names of 100 free agents.
Yeah.
And try to put them all on the Lakers, but like you said, this has been years in the making.
Right.
We had our own separate Lakers chat for years.
Yeah.
But we're here to talk hoops. So with all that being said, we are all laced up. So let's hoop.
Ooh.
All right, first things first. So I had originally planned to come on here and just lambast the NBA All-Star game. I mean, you should see the notes I had. So I kind of prepared this before All-Star weekend.
Okay.
But this was a fantastic All-Star game.
Yeah.
And I know I'm the only one here who probably watched it.
100%.
Because so the numbers, it's the highest viewership since 2011. 2011, that was a big All-Star game. Kobe, LeBron, rookie Blake Griffin. That was the 4 Celtics. That was Rondo, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, KG. That was actually LeBron's first year in Miami. Huge All-Star game.
Good times.
Right. Yeah, it's just great memories of that era of basketball. So this is the highest viewership since then. It doubled last year's 4.7 million. This year 8.8 million viewed the NBA All-Star game. And I just from an all sports perspective, I feel like the NBA All-Star game is just a little more important to its league than the Pro Bowl, than the MLB All-Star game, because the NBA is such a star-driven league. You want this weekend to be a showcase of these stars. You want this weekend to bring people in that just finished with, the NFL season, and it's a perfect handoff to the NBA All-Star weekend. Usually takes place the weekend after the Super Bowl. And you want those fans now watching the NBA. So I just think it's an important weekend. It shouldn't be something that just, over time we just let, fall into irrelevancy the way that the Pro Bowl has. I think that there needs to be a constant conversation in these offices. And we've seen Adam Silver, for all his faults, he is trying. He's tried new things the last 7 years. And I think he finally found something that worked. So just to kind of put it all out there, the way that they did it this year, they split the All-Stars up into 3 separate teams. When I first heard that, I'm like, what are you thinking? Okay. But it just worked. You had Team World, all the international players, and you had 2 Team USA teams. I don't know if they did this on purpose, but one of them was like the old guys, the old guard, and the other was kind of the young, hungry first timers and guys like that.
Right.
And then from there, they kind of did it tournament style, little 12-minute games. And it was ball. There was no free lanes to the basket, little mini dunk contest for 3 minutes where nobody's playing defense. Guys were locking up. Wemby wins the tip, sprints to the block, catches it, turns around and yams it 2 hands.
Oh,
Wemby's blocking shots. Wemby's upset because guys are missing their defensive assignments. If you look up these highlights, it's unlike previous All-Star game. There's no, Steph Curry didn't play, but there's no guys like pulling up from half court. These guys wanted to win. And it's because it was kind of designed in a pickup format. You're playing these little 12-minute games rather than 48 straight minutes of nonsense. Like, can you imagine playing pickup ball on a Sunday night and you're playing 148-minute game, keeping the score?
Gosh.
I mean, no wonder it fizzles out. So So the All-Star game was great. It's a format that works. I hope they keep it going. RB, did you get to watch any bit of this All-Star game? Did you see any highlights or anything?
I was like, I'm gonna give it a chance this year because I took a break from like kind of NBA. I was like, I'm getting into NFL and all that stuff because NBA's just been boring me, and just like I'm a teacher, so I don't have time during the day to watch NBA. So I was like, I'll give it a chance this year. Like I'm trying to get back into it, and I started watching. I was like, dang, this is good. Like Anthony Edwards was going off. And then, like you said, Wemby, I remember hearing the build up. Wemby talking before was like, oh, I'm here to win. I'm here to play defense. And I'm like, oh, we might actually get a game. And then I was watching, and it was cool to see the young guns versus the old guard and all that stuff. It was literally just like you see in pickup basketball. You got the young guys that can outrun the guys, but then you got IQ, like LeBron James out there throwing dimes to De'Aaron Fox and whatnot. It was just like basketball in like its purest form. I was like, man, I'm enjoying this. I was like, I might watch this again next year. I did catch it, but I was definitely impressed.
I mean, there it is, right? I mean, just the fact that the NBA is fighting for the All-Star game, and you gotta just a diehard fan here and Ryan saying, I might check this out next year. Like, bravo to the NBA for doing that, for fighting for the All-Star game. I agree with you, AJ. This is important. It's important to the NBA, like no other league. And I just think, I'm bummed out that I missed it. I can't wait to catch the next one.
Yeah,
and that's a win. It's a win for the NBA.
If they keep this format, I mean, I'll be the loudest one shouting from the rooftops that everybody should watch it, because everybody had something to prove. Like RB, you mentioned Ant Edwards. Ant Edwards was out there. I think he won the MVP. He won the All-Star MVP. Yeah. He was out there trying to show, I am the face of the league right now.
Love it.
Wemby's out there trying to say, I am the face of the league right now. And the old guys are saying, no, it's still us. Kawhi put up 31 in a 12-minute game.
Dude, Kawhi was going crazy.
Kawhi hasn't played 12 minutes straight in years.
I haven't seen some of these moves since the Raptors.
Love it.
No, seriously.
It was
I mean, back in the day, that's what it was about, right?
Yeah.
You talk about Kobe coming into the All-Star game, and who checked him? Michael.
Yeah.
You talk about LeBron coming to the All-Star game. Who said, hey, let's go one-on-one? Kobe. Like, that's how it was, man. Like, that's the culture of the NBA. That's what kept it competitive. That's what kept it interesting for fans, and that's what's going to keep it going forward. The formula isn't hard. I love that it did that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. So, yeah, Sunday night's All-Star game was great. Saturday night.
Talk to me.
The worst dunk contest I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, my God, bro. I saw a straight-up windmill, bro. I saw a windmill, bro.
Oh, man.
You must not have seen Jackson Hayes, Lakers center, act like he's going to jump from the free throw line. I don't know if he tripped or missed a step, but he took off from inside the dotted line, didn't cock it back. Just
bro, that's the position you get legally.
A 7 foot athletic guy doing a rim grazer.
That's bad, bro.
It was an embarrassment. It was an embarrassment.
Yeah.
The dunk contest. There's a real problem there. I'm in favor of, leading with the 3-point shootout. 3-point shootout was great. Damian Lillard came out from injury and won the whole thing. 3-point shootout was fantastic. Devin Booker needed one more shot to win, missed the last 4. So Damian Lillard gets it. Con Kneppel, rookie from the Charlotte Hornets, balled out, made it to the final 3. They need a one-on-one tournament. Ooh. They need a one-on-one tournament. I'm in favor of 3-point shootout, dunk contest, and you finish All-Star Saturday night with a one-on-one tournament. And it doesn't have to be Kevin Durant versus Ant Edwards. Get some of these mid-level guys, some of these on their first, outside their rookie deal contract guys that are really trying to make a name for themselves. And, you get I don't even know. Austin Reeves of 2 years ago.
Yeah.
In a one-on-one showing what he can do. I mean, that right there puts him into another level as far as fans' eyes and whatever types of endorsements he can get. So I just think it provides something to the guys that would be invited to something like this. I've got that as my format for what a Saturday night should be: 3-point shootout, dunk contest, one-on-one tournament. RB, what do you think?
Dude, one-on-one tournament just sounds amazing. Just seeing like the best in the world go head-to-head, one-on-one. And like you said, if you get those guys who aren't big names that want to make a name for themselves, like they're going to go play tough defense because guess what? They want to make a name for themselves. Yeah, dunk contest. Oh my gosh, dude, it was so rough. I was like, I'm not even gonna try. I'm done. It's just like it's so hard when there's unrecognizable names like Jackson Hayes. Yeah, he starts for the Lakers or whatever, or plays for the Lakers. That's all you know about him. Like you're not getting dudes like you used to, like Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
Like you're not getting stars like Michael Jordan, Clyde Drexler, like all those dudes used to do the dunk contests. And it's just like Nate Robinson, Dwight Howard. These are superstars in the league that were doing the dunk contest, and like everybody was into it. And now it's just like, hey, who's some athletic guys that are willing to do this because they're not invited to the All-Star game because they're not good enough? Yeah, and then you got the GOAT of the dunk contest, Mac McClung, but he had no comp. And so it just got boring for him, honestly. Like I felt bad for the dude.
Did they really not just have him back because like he would have just won it again?
He chose not to come back, I think.
Yeah, I hate that. That's a fake story. He chose not to come back because essentially what's been happening the last 3 years is teams will sign him to a 10-day contract from the G League before the dunk contest so that he can participate in the dunk contest, and then they don't bring him back. And he feels a little disrespected.
Sure.
I think he should play. I think he can play in the league, and kind of he feels like nobody's really giving him a chance.
Makes sense.
But then he posted the 4 dunks he would have done.
Oh, I saw those.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So my shot in the dark, and I just talked about him feeling disrespected. My shot in the dark suggestion: why not just hire him as a dunk consultant every year, or a dunk designer, a dunk designer? Yeah. So that's, if not him, I think that's one thing the dunk contest should do, because maybe guys are feeling like, I don't have time to think of these dunks because we're in an era now where we've seen everything except for those 4 dunks that he released on YouTube. But I think if you have some of these professional dunkers working on these dunks weeks ahead of time, meeting with the guys as they're invited, kind of, having consulting sessions, showing them what these dunks are, seeing if they can do it. That can take a little bit of the responsibility off of the NBA players who are still playing in a full NBA schedule, up until the night before the All-Star weekend. I think you add a dunk consultant, and then the prize money is an embarrassment for the NBA.
What is it?
The prize money is $105,000. To me and you, that sounds fantastic. But I've got a little exercise here. So the two guys that we would really like to see in the dunk contest, that a lot of fans are saying right now for the last 6 years, is Zion Williamson and Ja Morant. Both Zion Williamson and Ja Morant made $39.4 million last year. $39.4 million for a $105,000 prize. So I'm gonna do a little calculation here. Little calculation. We're gonna go 105,000 divided by 39.4 million. So that's 0.26% of their salary. Average US. I looked up the average US salary. That's $65,000. So that is the equivalent of the average US salary earning a prize of $173.
Oh,
if you are getting a week's vacation from work, and let's face it, this is work. This is work for these guys. Yeah, they get to dribble a ball for a living. It's work. This is their job. If you get a week's vacation from work, but your boss calls you up and says, "Hey, I want you to perform in this contest, if you don't mind, in the middle of your vacation. All your managers are going to be there. All the department managers are going to be there watching you. It's a little contest. Prize money is $173." You'd be like, "Dude, go screw yourself. This is my vacation. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that." They have to up the prize money. The prize money's got to be $1 million. It's got to be $1 million for the winner, $500,000 for second place, and $250 for the other contestants.
Yeah, they're throwing 170 at the freaking ballet in college.
Exactly. $105,000 for these guys. It's not incentive enough for these stars to be in the dunk contest. And you can say, "Oh, they make so much money." It's about, they want to enjoy this weekend, and $105,000 to somebody making $40 million is not going to move the needle. It's not going to convince them to put time and effort into this. So I kind of thought of that and drew that up. I was shocked to see the level of, or the percentage of their salary that prize money is. So I'm in favor of $1 million prize. Phoenix Suns owner Matt Ishbia today tweeted that he will personally give $1 million to the dunk contest winner next year. I don't know how truthful that is. He's a bit. I mean, he loves owning an NBA team. He played in the celebrity game this year. He was horrible, but
I can't imagine that went well.
He was awful.
Yeah,
but I was like, "Hey, we got an NBA, you got a team owner out there playing." So,
awesome.
There's just All-Star Saturday night has to be fixed because, like we've already said, we brought up Aaron Gordon and Mac McClung and Zach LaVine. Like, look at this. This is the greatest dunk I've ever seen in my life.
And that's not too long ago.
It was. I mean, it's 10 years ago now.
Yeah, but this guy's still in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Like this guy and his peers, like, they're still playing the league today. Like, it's a shame what has come to from this. Like, this was one of the greatest dunk contests I ever saw.
Yeah.
This was insane, bro.
I think this is the greatest dunk contest I've ever seen. Zach LaVine,
wild, bro.
Catching an alley-oop from the free throw line, windmilling from the free throw line, and then putting it between his legs from the free throw. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So they've got to bring back showmanship. I guess there's a rule that they can't use props anymore. What are we doing? That's ridiculous.
Why?
Like, what are we talking about?
I like the idea that you mentioned about not the sponsors, but the coaches and the mentors.
Yeah.
What words you used. And I think of American Idol. I don't know if you ever watched that show, but there's a week where some big artist will come in, and that's their guy that week, and they prepare a song with that person, and then they deliver it. How fun would it be if Vince Carter took Ja Morant in for a week and we filmed that, them talking through a dunk, them working through like the possibilities, and then all to lead up to them attempting that dunk? I'd be into that.
That'd be sweet, and that's such great content that you can have going, before they introduce the dunkers.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
I'd be into that. I'd watch that dunk contest for sure.
Yeah,
it's just not that hard.
It's not. It's not. It's very simple. I don't know if they don't have the right people in the room or if they're not really trying when it comes to Saturday night. But like we said, All-Star Weekend's important to the league, and I think the dunk contest falls right into that. That was the thing I got most excited for growing up. Was I had to be sitting down on Saturday night watching the dunk contest.
What's sad is that Darnell Smith from the Coach JB show and Big Smitty, he hosted his own kind of like community All-Star Weekend event, and they had a dunk contest. And legitimately, AJ, these volunteers had a better dunk contest than the National Basketball Association put on. Out in some playground in Inglewood. It's crazy.
That's where we're at. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But yeah, something needs to be done about it. But props to them for the All-Star game, the Sunday night All-Star game. Yeah. They, that was the best one I'd seen since 2020, the year that Kobe died. When they were out there, one team was wearing 24, one team was wearing 2, and they were out there hooping. They were hooping, and I think they got it back. And don't mess with it. You figured it out.
Yeah.
Don't tweak it.
Don't make it weird next year.
What's that?
Don't make it weird next year.
Yeah, don't add 2 more teams.
We're gonna hang a suitcase above the court.
WWE.
Yeah, that's another thing. They took a step back a little bit from this year, but last year, too many influencers. Why is Mr. Beast doing a skit at halftime?
Yeah.
Chill on Drewski.
I think all sports are making that mistake right now.
Yeah, because they're trying to get that audience and trying to get that generation. You're only going to get that generation to stick if you create real fans of the sport and real fans of teams. It's not going to be because Drewski threw a pass over Allen Houston's head into the crowd. That was I don't know what that was.
I do love me some Drewski though, but yeah.
Drewski's hilarious. Drewski's hilarious. Right. That church skit is one of the funniest things I've seen. I've watched that thing 25 times because I grew up in Black church.
I don't want to offend Ryan, but yeah, it was pretty hilarious.
I grew up in Black church. That was accurate. So I love me some Drewski.
Rachel showed me that video and it just said liked by AJ, and I was like,
"How you put your woman's name out in the streets?
Throw your wife's name out."
Rookie mistake.
We won't show her. We won't show her this episode.
And we'll put her picture right here.
So, anyways, that's all I've got on the All-Star game. They did a great job. Obviously some things can be fixed. All right. With all that said, I wanted to bring up a huge retirement that happened in the last couple of weeks. Really a forced retirement. Point god Chris Paul is calling it quits after 21 years in the league. 21 excellent years without a championship, though. And really, dude was just completely screwed over by the team that will likely retire his jersey, the LA Clippers. What's new? We as Laker fans know how Clipper fans or how the Clipper organization has operated in the past.
Yep.
You think things are going to turn a corner with Steve Ballmer, and he's a legend. He's probably the face of your franchise. You can argue him or Blake Griffin, or if you want to put them up, both of them together, but he's arguably the face of your franchise, and you just send him out. You tell him to pack your bags and go home.
You run him out of town.
You literally you tell him go home.
Crazy.
We're not going to trade you yet. We'll trade you in 3 months, but go ahead and don't come to practice anymore. Don't come to games anymore. I was talking to a buddy of mine about that, and he said, frankly, I hope the Clippers curse is never lifted when they're out there doing things like that. But anyways, Chris Paul, what could have been? Joey, where were you when the Lakers traded for Chris Paul in 2011?
Stop. I was somewhere on the moon, brother, because that trade, that move would have, I mean, it's honestly a hard thing to bring up as a Laker fan. Oh my God. What that would have been is just so incredible. The basketball IQ, the crazy competitiveness, like those two guys linked up would have been Pip and Jordan. And I know that's a lot to say, but CP and Kobe Bryant would have been something we have been talking about for the rest of basketball. And, I'm sure you're going to talk about how it went down and the BS that went down. But in that moment when Chris Paul was a Laker, it was elation. It was, oh my God, we have Kobe, Shaq, obviously reversed to a super small version, but yet the stardom through the roof, after, enjoying some success with the guys that we had, potentially traded for CP. It was win-win. We got the best out of these guys. We're moving them now for Chris Paul to pair with prime Kobe Bryant. Dude, it could have been incredible. And go ahead, talk about what happened, bro. It's rough.
Yeah, so this took place December 2011. This was right before
2011.
that lockout season.
God damn.
Where that lockout season where the league didn't start till Christmas Day. So we were kind of deep into a long off season. Yeah. And early December we get an update. I don't even think I had a smartphone then to see Twitter, but I just get texts and calls that the Lakers had traded for Chris Paul. Like you said, this was fresh off of some success. So we were a full season removed from the 2010 championship, from back-to-back 09 and 10, to be able to trade for, at the time, who was the clear-cut best point guard in the league. So here's what the trade was. It was Chris Paul to the Lakers. Lakers sent Pau Gasol to Houston, and then Lamar Odom, Louis Scola, Kevin Martin, and Goran Dragic went to the New Orleans Hornets at the time, later the Pelicans, who team that still ultimately probably would have ended up with the number 1 pick to take Anthony Davis. A lot of people like to say, "Oh, that was that wasn't part of the trade. That wasn't a result of the trade. That team was going to get that number 1 pick." I was blown away when that happened. Chris Paul and Kobe. All the Dwight Howard rumors were already going. We famously traded for him a year later. I think the Chris Paul trade would have sped up that Dwight Howard trade to happen that same year. That was Andrew Bynum and several draft picks for Dwight Howard. To pair Chris Paul, Kobe Bryant, and Dwight Howard, the league or the fans of the league were robbed. Not just us as Laker fans. I know we're Laker fans. This is something I'm going to talk about for the rest of my life. Fans of the league were robbed because 3 hours later, it's then reported that the trade was vetoed. And I want to get into this because a lot of people really don't understand what happens. This is still a subject that gets brought up all the time on the internet, and people just like to yap. Oh yeah, the league stepped in. So the New Orleans Hornets at the time did not have an owner.
Right.
The league was acting as its owner. So essentially, Chris Paul had requested a trade, and David Stern, commissioner of the NBA at the time, had given the GM, Dell Demps, I think was his name, the GM of the Hornets, full authority. Trade Chris Paul. Get your best for Chris Paul. So Dell Demps went and did that and traded him to the Lakers. And then David Stern stepping in as the owner, not as the commissioner, stepping in as the owner, but I think with intentions as the commissioner,
right?
So kind of wearing two hats in this
right.
move, came in and vetoed the trade and said it would not be good for league parity. Yeah. So it's something that I don't think can ever happen again because of the circumstances. Like we now live in an era where there will never be a team in any of the 4 major sports that does not have an owner. The way these teams' values are just shooting up. It's probably the best investment that a guy at that level of wealth can make. So I don't think we'll ever be in that situation again. So I don't think anything like this will ever happen again. But I just wanted to set the record straight because I'm sick of arguing with guys online that are like, yeah, the league said that it's going to be no. David Stern acted as the owner and basically said, while I did give the GM full authority to make this trade, this is not a trade that I wanted to make, and we shouldn't have made this. So then he gets traded to the Clippers a couple weeks later, and the rest is history.
AJ, damn. if you don't mind, AJ,
look at that.
In the arms of an angel. Dude, that's what we saw, bro.
It's amazing too what a first round pick was worth back then. Yeah. I mean, this trade now would have been 6 first round picks.
Not a
There have been
chance.
3 straight up first round picks and 3 pick swaps with probably 4 more seconds and Austin Reeves.
I want to hear genuinely. I want to hear the opinion of an outsider, because me and AJ are in the trenches. Ryan, what does this look like to you? Both the trade going down and then the veto.
Also, weren't you like, what were you, like 9 years old? When
I was going to say, how
no, I was probably, I think I was 13. But
Okay.
so I didn't have any social
Grown-ass
media
man.
or anything yet. So I had no idea what happened. But just looking at it, it just seems so sketchy, so fishy. And it's like hearing what happening. It's just like okay, like and then you just look like a couple years down the road, and then you got LeBron going to the Heat, and it's like, okay, now we got so that's okay, but we can't let Chris Paul go to the Lakers. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Are we just hating on LA? They're just winning too much, I guess. So it's, and then he goes to the Clippers, so he's still in LA, but just not with the wrong team. And yeah, it just all just sounds awful. As you know, I'm a Bulls fan. I grew up a Chicago fan. My dad's from there. But yeah, just looking at it, and it's just like it just looks bad. It's a bad look for the league in general.
AJ, is this the equivalent, maybe more so, of the NBA potentially blocking a Dennis Rodman trade to the Bulls?
Did that happen?
No, I'm saying, like, if the NBA would have,
if the NBA would have blocked a Dennis Rodman trade. Okay, I see what you're saying. I think more so.
I think it would be more serious than that for sure.
Way more impactful.
The NBA would never. My point is, the NBA would have never done that to 23. They would have never done it to Michael Jordan. Like, and the NBA did a great injustice, honestly, to Kobe Bryant. That's honestly the truth of it.
I think that the league was ready to move on from Kobe. I think they were ready to make LeBron the face.
Yeah.
Which is, you know how they all talk about Kobe now.
How'd that go?
So yeah. This isn't the conversation though. We could spend hours talking about this trade.
Bitter.
I wanted to bring that up to say how differently Chris Paul's career could have looked like at this point. If that trade went down. I think without a doubt the Lakers would have won a championship with Kobe and Chris Paul, whether it was that first year or the following year when they inevitably got Dwight Howard. And then who knows what type of veteran minimum contracts could have happened after the acquisition of Chris Paul and Dwight Howard to go with Kobe Bryant. Because we remember guys wanted to play with Kobe.
Yeah.
Not 4 months after Matt Barnes pretended to throw the ball in his face was Matt Barnes putting on a Laker jersey.
Ron Artest.
We were close to getting Rajah Bell. Guys that went toe to toe with Kobe.
Dwight Howard
to lace it up with them. Yeah.
Steve Nash.
Guys wanted to play for the purple and gold. They wanted to play with Kobe. So who knows what type of guys could have come through. And we could be looking at a Chris Paul with 2, maybe 3 championships, at least one, I think, at this point in his career. If that trade had gone down, who's to say if he would have stayed with the Lakers the rest of his career? Probably not the way, the way mobility is in the league now, especially in that era. But it's sad to see, he kind of bounced around, not in a journeyman type of way, but he's played for a lot of teams. New Orleans, Clippers, Houston, Phoenix, and then from Phoenix to OKC. That 1 year in OKC.
Yeah, honestly, him, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook are hard legacies because of how they've bounced around. And CP's kind of the grandfather of that. But I think you're right.
Yeah, it's sad to see him go out this way. Just to paint the picture, re-sign with the Clippers this year. They had this big press conference with a bunch of Clipper fans excited to have him back. You think this is going to be his farewell tour. He plays 16 games. Basically, they don't like him. I guess they don't like his leadership style. Probably one of the best leaders from the last 15 years in this league.
Yeah.
They don't like his leadership style. They tell him to go home, and then they trade him to the Raptors. 3 months later, Raptors cut him, and he posts on Instagram that he retired. It's sad. We're not going to see what a farewell Chris Paul game looks like. We got it from D Wade. We got it from Kobe. It's sad, but great player in the league. I don't know. I mean, a guy at his size, listed at 6 feet, he's 5'10", 5'11". Just to play 21 years in the league and cement himself as a top 5 point guard of all time.
I mean, what's impressive about him to me is how he adapted. When he came in the league, obviously he dime everyone up. But then how, like, toward the end of his career, he became a 3-point shooter. He became a scorer.
Yeah.
He became a 3-and-D point guard, which was like not Chris Paul when he first entered the league. Like, he's just with the limited athleticism, how he continued to adapt. It's just a testament to like that era of player and the competitiveness. And like, it's a shame how he's going out, but I will certainly appreciate the player he was for sure.
Yeah. No, I love that you said that. You brought that up. First year in the league, he shot 28% from three. In his Clipper years, 36, 39, 37, 41 with 5 attempts a game.
That's crazy.
Just completely adapted, became a scorer when he needed to, became a good defender when he needed to. I think he constantly led the league in steals.
Right.
Couple defensive player of the year votes. He never, obviously never won. Never got an MVP, never got a one of those individual awards, but got rookie of the year. But great career. One of the game's legends.
Yeah, for sure.
That's Chris Paul.
Shout out CP.
One more thing I wanted to bring up real quickly. So this has just been talked about for years and years. And I wanted to kind of, Joey, get your perspective from the NFL on if it's something that's being handled, and that's tanking. Tanking is the big discussion in the NBA right now. And I think the big difference between, certain NBA teams' outlook and NFL teams is, sooner in the NBA when you're not there. Longer schedule, 82 games. In the NFL, you could be, as we saw with the Ravens, started 1-5 this year and had a chance to make the playoffs at the end of the season. In November in the NBA, if you're going to be fighting for a lottery spot. So
which is a lot of games left.
Yeah.
That's the point you're making.
At that point, you've played maybe 18, 19 games, and you've got 60 left, and we're not trying to win the majority of these 60 games because we're not going to make the playoffs, but we can, up our chances for a top pick in the draft. Is there an issue in tanking at all in the NFL compared to the way it is in the NBA? If not, what do you think is the difference?
Well, I think if as far as if there an issue, it depends who you talk to. Some people would say yes. I don't think so. I think tanking is being done right, and I'll say that in the NFL. And I say that meaning tanking is the job of the front office, not the coaching or the players. That's how you ruin culture. That's how you end up as a bad team for years and years and years when you introduce tanking to the locker room. I think players got to play hard, especially in a game like football where it's so physical. It's like their bodies are on the line every week. I think there's a little bit of a difference between NBA. It's a little easier to coast in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
But just I think the same principles would apply. I think tanking in the NBA, I don't know what the legislature would be, but I would make it pretty damning to the players and coaches if they would partake. Because I think that hurts the product, that hurts the players, that hurts the culture, ultimately hurting the franchise. I think tanking is a front office job. Trade away your competitive players. Trade away your vets. Position yourself to where, hey, we're going to play hard, but we're probably still not going to win. I think that's the proper way to tank, where you're not going to hurt your culture and young players and even a coach who's trying to implement his principles of discipline and whatever it may be. And so I think if you compare the NFL to the NBA, I think that's the difference. I think NBA tanking right now is awful. You can't watch it. It's damn near wrecked the league. It's really, really bad. And I think they could take some notes from the NFL.
Yeah, at this point in the season, there's essentially a third of the league that's just not even worth turning the TV on for.
Yeah.
So the Utah Jazz just traded for Jaren Jackson Jr. He's not going to suit up for them one time this season. Immediately ruled out for the rest of the season. Their starting center Walker Kessler was already ruled out, and then their backup center of starting caliber Yusuf Nurkic also ruled out for the rest of the season.
Think about what that's like as a Utah fan.
Exactly.
You want me to pay $300 to sit in that seat? No.
I don't think Utah Jazz tickets are $300, but I'm with you.
That's front row, brother. So that's behind the bench.
Listen, Lauri Markkanen,
also
just gets there's an injury report coming out on Lauri Markkanen. The NBA is sending their own doctors to go verify this injury. That's how bad this has gotten. And he might really be hurt. He might really not be able to play the rest of the season, but the NBA is sending their own doctors to go verify this injury. I don't think there's so much of, rules need to be changed, and I'll get into what some of the rule proposals are. I think it's an Adam Silver issue. I don't think the league fears Adam Silver the way they feared David Stern. There's probably a huge difference in the feeling of an NBA owner when their phone buzzes and they see the name Adam Silver rather than the pit in their stomach they got when they saw the name David Stern pop up.
Yeah, let me go on this, brother. Yeah, okay. For sure. It is different when Jerry West is calling you. Listen, for NFL owners, you think about some of these franchises who are even that good, it's because it's about the bottom line. They are businessmen trying to make that franchise make money. The problem with the NBA, and I'm glad you brought up Adam Silver. I wasn't sure what kind of show you're having here, AJ. I'm not sure if we're going to go at Adam Silver, but I'm glad you opened up that can of worms because that's the problem. You have empowered the players so much to where now it's everything. What's best for the player? What's best for that player's health? How is he the happiest? Well, I'm sorry. That has not worked out great for the league. That has not worked out great for the fan. And because what has been at best for the player has been oftentimes at expense of the fan and the franchise. And honestly, that's what drives the league. And so I think Adam Silver is a huge problem here in what he has introduced and the type of culture that he has made okay for the modern NBA star.
Yeah, there's a difference in demeanor between a guy like Adam Silver. And Adam Silver's done a great job in certain areas. I think the play-in tournament was a home run. Yes. The in-season tournament, what are we doing? What is that?
I don't watch that shit.
Awful.
What are we doing? But I just he's not handing out spankings.
No.
He's handing out ice cream cones.
Yeah.
And that can only get you so far as a leader of the NBA, of a professional sports league. I'm not calling for Adam Silver's head. I just think there needs to be a change in demeanor, or else then we should start calling for his head. Personally, and this is going to sound weird, it's going to kind of sound opposite because I do agree with you, Joey, and what you said about the problem's been empowering the players. I don't think any rule changes need to be made or penalties made or anything like that. Shorten the season, 66 games. And we're gonna hear it from Shaq and Chuck and all of them. I'm over them. Loved them for years. I'm done. I'm glad we only see them like 4 times a year on ESPN. Yeah. It's a different brand of basketball that's being played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And while there are guys that are the load management champions, there are a lot more injuries that happen in the league now than it did back in the day. And it's because, honestly, the game is being played tougher. I don't want to hear, okay, Jordan got punched in the stomach when he went up for a layup. It's a different, there's a difference on the stress that their body is going through playing the way that you have to play a professional basketball game compared to the way that they did back in the day. It's just fact. It's just truth. The sport has evolved so much. It's the same with football. It has evolved so much. The level of athlete that you have to be to compete on a professional level in these sports is far and away what it had to be in the 80s. Come for my head. I don't care. It's a fact. Shorten the season. 66 games. You play, I think I mapped it out. You play the other conference twice. You play your division 4 times, and then you play everybody else in your conference twice. 66 games. I think that's how it should be. And it makes it cleaner. It makes it cleaner. You know who you're playing. You know how many times you're playing them. You're playing them an even amount of home and away. It's a lot cleaner, and games will mean a lot more. And you get rid of back-to-backs.
I'm gonna go ahead, Ryan.
I'm done with the old heads.
Yeah.
Here's the go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
Okay. It's just Yeah, I think they definitely need to shorten the season. It's first of all, it's just so many games for fans to keep up with. Like if let's say like baseball fans, they have like 100 something games that they keep up with, and I'm like, man, you guys are dedicated. And that's why I haven't watched NBA a lot, because they're just at random times, because there's 82 games in a season. It's like I'm not watching the Bulls play at 2 in the afternoon. Like I have a job. But like NFL, it's on Thursday night, Sundays, and it's like specific times. You lower the games, more people are going to watch. Each game's going to mean more, which means it's more competitive. It's just, yeah. And like you said, load management, to me, that goes hand in hand with tanking. The first step of tanking was called load management. Like, hey, he needs the rest. And like, it's like, no, he doesn't. You just don't want to win these games. Right. And like, I know they said we want our stars to perform for the fans, and we just definitely need to lessen the season. It's just such a strain to go the whole year, 82 games for the players, even for the fans, just trying to keep up. Like you said, AJ, with the back-to-back games, like playing back-to-back nights, it's just a lot. And I just think that if you lessen it, you just, womp womp, but still, like, I'm just saying, like, lower the season, make everything a little bit more important. I think you get a lot more competition in there.
And here's the thing, before you go, Joey,
go ahead.
It's the argument that people are going to make is, well, the league will never do that. They'll lose out on money. You're losing out on money now.
Yeah, I'm not watching now.
Is not what it should be. The product will be improved if you shorten the season. Make us know what night the games are going to be on what channel. Make it an event.
Yeah.
It doesn't. We don't need basketball on every single night. We don't need basketball on Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
You make there should, I just spitballing. Friday night, ESPN. I know every single Friday night, no matter what, the way that I know every Monday night, no matter what, football's going to be on ESPN. Make sure that I, as a fan, know if I turn on ESPN on a Friday night, there's going to be a marquee basketball game on.
And I think that's the key word you said. Like, it feels like we used to be able to know that. Like, right. Yeah, I understand this basketball happening all the time, but I know when the marquee games are going on. I remember in college, finding the empty room, turning the TV on, getting the guys together, and throwing on the marquee games, because I knew that night the Lakers are playing the Celtics, the Lakers are playing the Clippers, whoever it may be. I knew the marquee games on. My problem with what you guys are saying, I think you guys are on the right track. But are we assuming that less games gets these guys to change their ways? I feel like if we say, hey, guys, here's 60 games, well, they're going to say, like, well, now I don't like playing back-to-backs within a week. I don't like playing back within 3 days. I think the problem is a lot of the players. Like, I don't know if you lower the standard. I think, and maybe this is me being old head, keep the standard and make it harder for the players to skimp out. Make it harder for the players to mail it in. Because I feel like if you lower the standard, okay, you still got the same problem. Players want to do as little as possible and still get paid. And I think that's still going to happen with less games.
I think less games just it breeds a little more importance to every game, though.
I agree.
At that point, and then cream is going to rise to the top. The guy that's not giving his all for a game that means a little bit more than it used to, the coach is not going to play him in meaningful minutes the next game.
That's a good point.
I think it's something that it'll fix that mentality, because these games mean more. If you it just, I don't know. It's a tough conversation. Wanted to get into these proposed penalties or rule changes. So there was a committee meeting. These are leaked from the meeting, so not official, but these are some of the proposed rule changes. So first round draft picks can now only be protected in a trade for top 4. Can only be protected top 4. Here's another one. Lottery odds will freeze at the trade deadline. So whatever your record is at the trade deadline, that's where your lottery odds will be. So no matter however many games you lose or win after the trade deadline, your draft position or your lottery position is set at the trade deadline.
Set.
No longer allowing a team to pick in the top 4 in consecutive years. What are we doing? Are you serious? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Teams can't pick in the top 4 the year after making the conference finals. What are we doing? You're gonna perfect example of that is Indiana Pacers. You lose your star player tore his Achilles. Yeah. They're just a bad team right now. They're not tanking. They're not tanking on purpose.
It feels like those last two are from the same person. I'm just throwing out there.
Yeah. Same guy. He suggested one in the beginning of the meeting, and he suggested the other one at the end when he forgot that he already suggested.
Thanks for nothing, Tim Duncan. Thanks for nothing.
Lottery odds are allocated based on 2-year records.
It's weird.
Lottery extended to include all play-in teams. And then here's I love this one. You flatten the odds for all teams that don't make the playoffs.
That's awful.
I don't like any of these.
I don't see the Thunder with a better pick.
Right.
No.
So I think we might see the Thunder. We might see the Thunder with a great, but Thunder have the Clippers pick this year. The Thunder will be in the lottery. I just think it's a deeper issue. I think there's things that need to be fixed and addressed throughout the league. I totally understand what you're saying, Joey, about guys' mindset. I think that'll correct itself when each game means a little bit more to the entire franchise, the coach, the GM, the owner. If a game means 25% more than it currently does, then a player sitting out or a player not giving his all is going to mean 100% more than it does now. So I think it's something that can be corrected. I don't think they will ever shorten the season because what does that do to records? What does that do to
mess?
Yeah, it's just you can't. I think that's the solution.
Can I offer something without this is into a bigger conversation that I don't actually want to have right now, but just to throw it out there. I mean, how much of this do we throw on the game's faces at the moment? Because it feels like back when I grew up watching ball, Kevin Garnett, and I don't want to mention Kobe Bryant too much, but Kobe Bryant, these guys wouldn't allow this to happen. Like, competitiveness was held at a certain level by the game's best players. And I feel like this current era, not so much. We see Chris Brown Chris Brown as well. Shout out Chris Brown. Chris Paul get run out of town because, it's just players don't understand it anymore. And I think LeBron James comes in with his soft ass, kind of the king of sitting out back-to-backs. And I think it's kind of set a tone. That it is, kind of like the best players are not holding that line. So why would, the average player?
No, you're absolutely right there. And that is something, though, that is changing. Victor Wembanyama is changing that.
So Anthony Edwards. Foreigners there.
Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is changing that.
Yeah.
Good. I don't know. As a Laker fan, I'm worried about Luka in that regard.
I wouldn't say Luka's at the forefront of this. Hey, but Austin Reeves, maybe. Maybe
Reeves, the real gym rat.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah. No, and to bring it full circle, we saw that in the All-Star game. Wemby took it serious. You got to look up the clip of how angry he was.
That's so important.
You have to look up the clip of how angry he was when they lost. Scotty Barnes lost his defensive assignment when it essentially was sudden death. One of those that first 12-minute game went into an overtime 5-point sudden death. At that point, they can give up the 2 because they get another chance. They all crash the paint. 3-point shooter. I'm sorry, Scotty Barnes didn't lose his assignment. Scotty Barnes hit the 3. But Wemby was so upset because he just wants to win. He wants to win. And I think we're getting a new era of that player. And maybe it starts with the foreigners. We've kind of tried to fight this, but I think the foreign takeover is good at this point because now the U.S. is like, hey, hold up.
They play with a lot more pride.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Kawhi Leonard. My guy, 3 games a year, and no problem with it. You know, I like that. I like.
He's a fun guy.
He's a
What an era that was.
Fantastic.
But yeah, I think I feel like as an NBA fan, I've been an NBA fan my entire life, and it's ebbed and flowed as far as how the league has felt. And I think we're starting to come out of one of the valleys. And I just, you've got organizations like the Oklahoma City Thunder who are operating like the 2000 San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah.
You've got players like Wemby who are obsessed with the game. You want your stars to be absolutely obsessed with the game and obsessed with being the best at what they do. And I think we're getting everything I hear from Anthony Edwards. He's kind of an idiot, but everything I hear from him shows me that he wants to be the best. He wants the smoke. He said it in the All-Star game when he saw LeBron picking him up, when he saw KD picking him up. That signaled in him, I'm going at these guys.
Yeah.
And
that's what we need. Have you guys seen this reel circling right now where Kevin Garnett's talking about when Kobe picked up LeBron at the end of the game in an All-Star game, and LeBron just passed it over, and how Garnett just thought, like, what is that?
Yeah.
That's not how the league works. I hate LeBron. Go ahead.
I'm not a LeBron apologist. LeBron's done a lot for the league, but I'm ready to move on. I'm ready.
Yes.
What did Colin Cowherd say? We are no longer beholden to LeBron, but he was trying to say Ben Simmons was the next star.
I was going to say.
Oh my gosh, I remember that. Oh my god.
LeBron, it's okay.
It's okay. We're good. We're good.
It's all good. Like,
Ben Simmons isn't in the league anymore.
Colin.
One of his best.
Ben Simmons is playing right now at a park near you.
He's playing in the same league as Colin. Anyways, guys, that is our show. Thank you for joining us for the first Hooped session. Joey, thank you. RB, thank you. This is I've been waiting to do this for a long time. Super excited to have you guys on board for this first episode. Make sure you guys subscribe. We're going to be doing a new episode every week to start. We will try to up that to as many as we can do. We've got some awesome things lined up for the playoffs, awesome things lined up for the draft and for the offseason. So thank you for joining us. We will see you guys next week.